And that plane.
Her Cessna. Lexie instinctively dug in her heels. No way. Not happening. But her assailant was strong and easily dragged her across the concrete floor of the hangar. She tried not to panic, to not think about the danger of flying at night in the mountains. Yet what did that matter anyway? This guy could very well kill her once her usefulness as a pilot was over. "Wait!" The word came out hoarse as his arm was wrapped tightly around her neck, partially cutting off her air supply. "I need to have a mechanic check the plane before we go." She stalled for time. Why exactly, she wasn't sure. "It's important the engine is in peak flying condition, especially if we're heading out at night."
Nice try, but I saw you flying the plane earlier. It's fine. We're leaving now.
He ruthlessly dragged her forward. "Lord, please help me." She went limp, her sneakered feet dragging behind in a way that managed to tangle her legs with his. It was enough to knock the sweaty guy off balance. The arm around her throat loosened, and the gun moved away from her side for a fraction of a second. She gathered her strength, but before she could react, the assailant abruptly let her go. Lexie fell to the floor, her knees hitting the concrete hard, but then she quickly jumped up. She heard muffled grunts and saw two dark shadows fighting. A low growl had her taking several steps backward in fear. Through the darkness, she saw the whites of an animal's eyes. What was going on? Suddenly, one of the men groaned and slumped to the floor, while the other jumped up and raced out of the hangar. The dog continued to bark and growl, giving chase to a point, but then stopping near the open hangar doorway. The dog wheeled around and ran back to the man on the floor. Lexie felt certain the man who reeked of body odor was the one who'd disappeared outside, but the news wasn't entirely reassuring. What if this guy was an accomplice? She edged around the stranger sprawled on the floor, giving the dog a wide berth as she made her way toward the light switch. The incandescent lights came on low at first, providing her eyes time to adjust as they slowly grew brighter. The man on the floor didn't move. Was he dead? Was he involved with the man with the gun? She was torn between taking off and staying to make sure the stranger was alive. The dog sat right at his side, which made it impossible for her to approach. "Good doggy," she said in a weak voice. "Nice doggy. Don't bite me, okay?" The dog licked the stranger's face. The man let out a low moan and finally lifted his head.
What happened?
"You tell me." Lexie eyed him warily. "Who are you? What are you doing here?" The man managed to sit up. He stroked the dog, calming the animal.
"Ma'am, are you okay?"
"I'm not the one on the floor," she pointed out.
"Yeah."
He put a hand to his head for a moment, then staggered to his feet. She noticed he had a backpack with him, yet he didn't seem like a hiker who'd wandered in. He was a bit unsteady as he stood there, looking around. Finally, he met her gaze.
"I'm Chris Fuller with the Rocky Mountain Canine Unit."
He shifted the backpack and lightly rested his hand on the dog's head.
"And this is Teddy, my partner."
Lexie loved dogs, but nothing about this scenario was normal. Now that the animal had stopped growling, the brown and white spaniel appeared friendly enough. She crossed her arms over her chest, chilled despite the mild June temperatures. Finding two strangers in her hangar in the span of a few minutes was frightening. Chris Fuller was well over 6 feet tall and wore casual black jeans paired with a black t-shirt covered with a bulky black vest. His warm brown skin highlighted his muscular arms and shoulders. He wore his black hair short and had a jagged scar over his left eyebrow, and his intense topaz gaze seemed to look right through her. It took a moment to notice the blood on his